is Hump Day. You are listening to your boy, the Mad Hatter. We are the SBTV Nation, and I'm sitting here having a small conversation that is probably going to end up being a big conversation with my boy, The Dream. What's up, player?
What's happening out there, SBTV Nation? Y'all people, got a question for you.
What's that?
Are you tired of winning? We feel like the Golden State Warriors right now.
Oh, my God. The Golden State Warriors 23-0, Playboy. Wow. Unbelievable.
No doubt, man. They are getting it in. They are making it happen. And guess what? I got news for you.
Yes.
I'm good with Indiana.
You're good with the Indiana Pacers go down in flames, and they only lost the game by 8, but that is nowhere near the story of what happened last night. You know what I mean?
Not at all. Because the story was they was getting the doors blown off in their building.
You think?
A complete, total annihilation was going on.
As the evil genius would like to allude to. Total annihilation out there, man. No, definitely 23-0, and they went on a 22-0 run in that particular game. The Pacers are actually up 5. I said, oh, hey, maybe this is the day.
And a lot of cats were hitting me up. They wanted me to get on that. And no disrespect to anybody. I'm not clowning on anybody that liked Indiana. I agreed that Indiana is due a loss. I agreed that it's probably going to be on the road. But I disagreed about getting involved in it. Because I'm either betting with Golden State or I'm watching.
Well, that's the thing. You can't. I mean, as much as I was kind of looking at that game, there's no way that you're going to bet against Golden State right now. They're just too hot, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Klay Thompson, who, by the way, did roll his ankle last night, so he may be out a game or two, but he had 39 points, 10 three-pointer string.
No doubt.
So it's just like when Curry's cold. I don't even know if Curry was cold. I don't even think Curry was cold, but he had 39 points. They scored 131 points in that game, man. Absolutely madness.
Yeah, definitely.
And, go ahead.
We'll flip over to another subject.
What?
We're talking about this.
Yeah.
Talk about.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me just finish talking about Golden State for a minute.
Yeah. Go ahead. Finish talking about Golden State.
Because I'm looking at them and I'm watching this team play, and they were on 2 different channels last night. They weren't even. They didn't even put the Cleveland game on for me. I had to get league pass for that. But when I took a look at that game, I mean, you just see the camaraderie and you see like the team basketball and. Everybody's passing, everybody's involved in the whole package. That is probably one of the best teams in the history of the NBA. Right at this very minute. At this very minute.
There you go, son. You've been on Twitter too much.
At this very minute, I'm saying.
You've been on Twitter too much. I happen to agree with you. It's all about having a lot of fun. And it's just like, I think it personifies right here in our show. When you and I are having fun, the show just rock and rolls and smooth and goes right over. And then, sometimes it's just not as much fun. You know what I mean? So far, though, it's been a pretty good ride as far as our show is concerned.
Yes.
Not to really equivalent it with that, but, I'm going there a little bit. But I'm just saying that it's sometimes, like, if you caught a loss the night before, or I caught a bad loss, like, this show is kind of a little rocky. But when we both come in, we both won, it's just like the energy's great and the flow works dead right, and the nation is happy.
Oh, definitely. Or, you were drinking the night before or something like that, and you wake up hurting and like one eye open, you got to get on the air. I totally get that, man. 100%.
And I've always mentioned that. When a team is having fun and they're having a good time, that it's so much. It's so much easier because that's what this is about. You know what I mean? People forget it's a kid's game. You know what I'm saying? It's about having fun, playing around with each other, you and your boys doing your thing, and that's essentially what they're doing. When you start getting that, I want the ball, and so-and-so's taking too many shots, and the separatism and the dissension, then you have what's known as the Philadelphia 76ers. But I'm just saying.
Or the Lake Show.
Or the Lake Show. Right. It's all about Kobe Cole riding off into the sunset in his Yugo.
I know. Look at it. Steph Curry had 29 points last night, brother.
Definitely. But now, since we talked about Steph,
yes,
I want to move over to another subject because there was some stamps. Somebody had some stamps yesterday. So the postmaster was in the house yesterday.
That's why you money line player.
No.
No, but I did. Listen, I did allude to the fact that I thought my boy LeBron would go ham in that particular game and win the game and cover the spread. Now, he won the game. I got that right.
Yes, you
but
did.
Couldn't cover the spread, man. I don't know. He drives me nuts. I can't stand the fact that they got to fall down 10 to 14 points to wake up in a particular game. I hate that. What is that all about?
They do that a lot, though. But hoops is in spurts. You know how that works. I mean, they do that a lot. And you know what? I'm going to take a little bit off you because we did at the end of the show, thanks to Batman. Had to tell you, make sure you money line. Robin.
All right, whatever.
So, but I got involved, but it wasn't one of my 5 stars. But I was involved on the money line tip of it. And hey, listen, anybody who got out there, you guys know that's why we don't usually do points.
You know, I was looking at it, and I was actually reading about LeBron James, and what I've understood is that he has double the points that he has in his first quarters in his fourth quarters.
Yeah.
And last night, he had 19 in the fourth quarter, brother.
Wow.
So, you know what I mean? It's kind of crazy how he's performing like that, man.
Well, that's that. You know what? The other thought about that is, I don't know if you're like, I'm going to do a little boxing terminology. You know, when they hit that there's a sound that they make when there's like 10 seconds left in the fight. In that particular round, and then usually the boxers go ham. Sugar Ray Leonard was like notorious for doing this. Like he would kind of like hang out all round, and then at the very end of the round, give it a blast, because that's kind of like what the judges remember the most is how you ended the round. Yep. You know, that's kind of what LeBron is probably doing a little bit with this, because people are remembering. I mean, like, we do know the fourth quarter in basketball is like the most intense. Obviously, in every sport, the very end is the most intense. You're going to remember that the most. So you step up your game, you know, the most at that particular time so you can come through and get that win. But it would be nice, like you said, especially at home.
I know.
You know, I don't mind it so much on the road, but at home, get out there and kick that behind in the first quarter and keep it moving. That's why I miss my boy, Michael Jordan, greatest of all time.
He actually had 14 points in the fourth quarter. I want to say it was 19 the other night in the fourth quarter, but it just drives me nuts, man. I hate when they fall down, and it was stomachache. They were down 14 points in the second quarter.
Son, I know, because I by the way, text you.
Oh, yeah,
remember?
you were texting me all kinds of breaking my balls about all kinds of other stuff. I'm like, dude, not right now, please. Not right now.
I was hitting him all this stuff was stomachache-ish. And then then right in the middle of that, my boy declares the Dallas Stars is being dope. Shortly after he declares that, it became an immediate stomachache. They were like, oh, he thinks we're dope? Oh, okay, well, everybody just chill.
Oh, they were up 4-0 in that game, the Dallas Stars, and let the other team come all the way back and tie the game, brother.
Yo, some of the nation be hitting me up talking about a stomachache. What, y'all want to lose instead? What, you think you just going to get blowouts? Come on.
Total annihilation, brother. Total
That's
annihilation.
how we do, y'all. We having a good time. We've been winning right now, and I'm so happy that, you know, we've got a little bit of steam going into what's about to be the college bowl season, son.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, we should do our contest, me, you, and Evil Genius again. We should probably do it at, instead of a $500 bankroll, we should probably do it at like $1,000.
No. I like the 500.
You like the 500?
It's more relative. It's more applicable.
Applicable. Okay.
I like the 500 personally. I think that's a great idea. I thought that was because it makes your money management just a little bit more relative.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying? When you got a G note, you could be a little bit, you know, you could be a little frivolous and a little bit, you know, reckless with your money. Because me, if I got a G note to play with, I'm gonna play the first game 500. Just to try to take a commanding lead. You know how I do.
Yeah, I know. You go crazy.
See me one night on the roulette table, and it was ugly
to say the least, brother.
I got beat up so bad on that table that night. It was like I stepped in the ring with Mayweather.
Oh, that was brutal, especially after drinking. Oh.
I tried to run down and beat Big Willie.
I'm like, dude, get off the table.
I threw like 300 on, boom, lost. Another like 4, boom, lost. Threw a nickel up there.
Brutal.
Meanwhile, my wife is on the side, like about to go into shock.
Oh, I know. She's sitting there watching, just shaking her head.
She's just shaking her head. I'm like, yo, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Thing.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. Right. In the meantime, I'm like, please stop. Please stop. You know, one of them boys is trying to look out. You know what I mean? You've been there with me.
I've been there with you, yeah.
You've been there with me, and hey, sometimes
I've been there with what to put like $400 on the green.
No,
just the green, though.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, what are you doing? The game don't work like that.
No, I think I had the number 28 also.
Oh, I think maybe you had the 28, but I know like you had something crazy on the green. I'm like, yo, take all that off of there.
But if it hit, though.
Yeah, if it hit. Yeah, you sound like that's Twitter-ish. I said, yo, this ain't Twitter.
Speaking of Twitter, guys, we're live right now, SBTV Nation, and we are live on all the other social media outlets as well. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Google+. We are on YouTube, and we're getting ready to take YouTube by storm, man. I don't think they're ready for this stream.
I don't know. I don't think they're ready either. But, yo, I do love the dynamic of being able to – I could actually see Hat this morning.
Oh, yeah.
I do love the dynamic of that because I can feed off of his energy a little bit and see him laugh and see – you know, he can see me when I'm laughing. So, this is pretty fun. I'm kind of digging this a little bit.
Yeah, we could probably make this happen most of the time now.
Definitely,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
You don't want to –
So –
yes.
Let's get into first of all, okay, well, real quick on the NFL. I know we skipped around quite a bit. We usually try to stay planted in one area, but real quick on the NFL, I want to mention that Mr. Shady McCoy has been caught talking again about Chip Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
And talking about how everything he says he backs about Chip. And I think people are listening because DeMarco Murray apparently had a meeting yesterday with ownership talking about how, you know, he's tried to work it out, but Chip stuff doesn't work for him.
Oh.
I expect some changes forthcoming in Philadelphia probably at the end of this season. I don't know that Chip is going to be there next year.
You don't think so, huh?
I don't know, dude. I mean, you know, you got the backlash of the ex-players coming out talking, you know what I mean? And luckily enough, they said something prior to this season as well. Then you got the guys that are currently playing for him saying what they're saying. Plus, you got the ineffectiveness on the field. So that all combined with a losing record, you know, it's all probably going to depend on how they finish out this season. I can tell you what. Buffalo, Shady McCoy, trust me, Holmes is lacing his boots up.
Oh, definitely. He's going to ask for like 40 carries.
He lacing his boots up. He wants, and you know that Fat Rex will be right on board with him.
Of course he will. Of course he will.
So they are ready to rock and roll.
Oh, definitely. And I'm looking at this, and I was actually looking at it last night. You know, we talked about it yesterday, the NFC East being 3, 5, and 7 teams. And the Philadelphia Eagles still control their own destiny as far as winning the NFC East, Dream.
Wow.
Any team that goes on a 2-game winning streak in that particular division is probably going to see themselves win it, brother. Unreal what's going on there right now, man. So you're looking at it.
Super Bowl this year again. I mean, it's all set up for them to do that.
It's all set up for the Giants to win the Super Bowl. You are correct. This is one of those historic bad years where they turn it around in the playoffs and make it work, man. But when you look at it, Washington is in the lead as far as the tiebreakers and the situation, conference records and stuff like that. What you got Washington, then you got Philadelphia, then you got the New York Giants, and then the Dallas Cowboys 1 game back who still have a shot, Dream.
No doubt. Dallas Cowboy fans are in the house and they can't wait to get their mouths popping.
I don't know, man. They got some. They all have some pretty rough games moving forward.
I think we're gonna wrap up. A few shots is getting wrapped up this weekend. Thank God.
Yeah, well, you got the New York Giants are going into the Miami Dolphins, and I think that the Giants can win that game, man. I don't like the Dolphins at all.
Winning any games, brother. I struggle anytime you talk about the Giants winning a game because it's not. The Giants aren't losing games solely because of their gameplay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It'd be one thing if it was solely because of your gameplay. That's something that you can change, and other things you can change. But there's a lot of coaching errors, and that makes it a problem.
Right. 24 retweets of the show already, Dream. Not bad from the nation, man.
I noticed the nation. The nation is like, they're like Seymour from Little Shop of Horrors. The more you feed them with wins.
Seymour, wow, wow, blast from the past, man.
No doubt, man. I know. I show my age regularly on here.
That's the plant with the teeth, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
I remember that.
Feed me.
I remember I got one of those one time. Somebody bought me one. You plant it and it grows, and it's like it kind of like clamps down on the food. It's kind of crazy. I don't know if it's alive or what the hell it is, but pretty interesting, man. But wow,
all plants are alive that are alive.
That definitely dates yourself there, brother, by saying that one. But,
hey, stop it! Listen, you don't get old being no fool. All right, just remember that. I am a little bit on the old side, but hey, done a lot of things and fortunately have been pretty successful at most of them. So, hey, like I said, you don't get old being a fool.
Well, congratulations on that, my friend. Looking at the schedule coming up for the Dallas Cowboys, they got to go into Green Bay this week, into the Tundra, man.
Oh, they got that. They got that.
4-9, baby.
They got that. Cowboys got that. They're going to go right in there and beat up on it because Aaron Rodgers stinks now, you know. Go ahead. I can hear the Cowboy fans. I don't agree. They got no run game. Our defense is dope. Oh, our defense isn't going to let them get done. Look at what so-and-so did to them.
Wow, that's going to be that's an ugly game right there for them, man.
Do you know what? The thing I want to talk about the Cowboy game, and I forgot to mention it the other night. You know what I love about a game like that? They went the whole game like nobody like really scored anything, right?
Nothing.
Then in that last minute, all of a sudden, the offenses move. And he did hit Deshaun. Deshaun was open in that particular route. I saw that. And it was just the stupidest defense because obviously, once again, this is what I talk about with the education level of these guys. It's how do you let Deshaun Jackson beat you at that spot? Obviously, they want to get him the ball. He made the big mistake. So you got to be so focused on him more than anybody else. And, of course, he's the guy that they let score a touchdown to win it, to tie the game. Asinine.
Of course. You know, I always said that. I mean, throw the ball deep. Do some play action, do something. What bothers me the most about a lot of teams is the lack of play action. It's like it's so obvious you're going to run the ball in certain situations. Play action is like a perfect play, man. It's
but if you're not successfully running the ball, then nobody's biting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to establish a little bit of the run. Like for me, you know, like certain teams, like I laugh because I know that they're not. You know that they want to throw the ball and they're not going to really run. You know what I'm saying? And I think that game, I don't think that Dallas was really respecting the Redskins' run game. So I think play action in some respects, you know, you just like they ain't gonna do it.
Imagine if you had a dynamic quarterback at Alabama with Derrick Henry as a running back.
I'll be stupid, but they don't do it. Dude, I've been talking about it all season. It's stupid. It'd be insane over there. It'd be what Oklahoma's got.
Oklahoma Sooners, man. I can't believe you're calling them to make it work.
You know what it is? They're the only team with any type of offense for me. Out of the four.
Yeah.
Out of the four, they're the only team with an offense to me. You know, and that's what and you know me, I'm an offense guy. You know, everybody else, like, I don't want to see you hand off the ball 44 times. Yes. Like, that is like, stop. Come on.
That's just beat you down, wear you down, control the line of scrimmage style of football.
No
you know
doubt,
what I mean?
man.
So, and that's what Alabama's notorious for, man. And I keep talking about this game. I know we're bouncing around a little bit, but I keep talking about this game, and I just think that, you know, Michigan State has been definitely playing really good defense, man. So it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game, and I think it's going to be a little bit tighter than everybody thinks.
Michigan State I don't think that their defense is better than Florida's, personally, and I don't think you do either.
No.
And that's what I'm saying. And Bama was able to get their way out with Florida's defense. So I don't see offensively Michigan State doing anything against Bama's defense. So I just don't see it.
Think it's gloom and doom for Sparty, huh?
I do.
Couple of trades, guys, MLB-wise. The Arizona Diamondbacks have gotten a second piece of the rotation. You know that they got Greinke, right, Dream?
No doubt, and their 4 fans are ecstatic right now.
4 fans. Hey, you know what? We were trying to get involved with them last year, and they just kept punching us in the face over and over again, man. It kind of felt like Ronda Rousey betting them. But they brought Shelby Miller into the mix from Atlanta.
I know.
And Shelby Miller, I mean, you know, he did have a really bad record, man. But, you know, his ERA was just a
He was in Texas. 3. He was in Texas, and he didn't do that great there as well.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but he was an Atlanta Brave.
Yep. Yeah, no, I know. I was just saying, like, because you were talking about bad records. Like, I don't see the dopeness about him, but whatever. You know, sometimes they're able to find these journeymen and get it to work right. You know.
Yeah. I mean, believe me, dude. I got the text from Dizzle last night.
I can't wait to see what your boy Harang gets signed for, son, in his new location. As he tries to make it on every team in Major League Baseball.
Every team. He wants to be the first player in history to play on all 30 teams in Major League Baseball, man. I think David Price is kind of trying to take the lead on that, though, man. Seems like David Price wants to be everywhere. And
yeah, David has been a little bit everywhere. It's like savoir-faire.
Yes, and Ben Zobrist has signed. Ben Zobrist had the life, man. He had the perfect situation. Went to the Kansas City Royals halfway through the season, won a championship. Now he got 4 years, $56 million for the Chicago Cubs, man. I think the Cubs will be decent. I think so. I don't know if you really care because it's in, it's in April moving forward, but we will have the conversation when that materializes, man. So looking at this, and we're talking about, we're just talking about a bunch of sports today, just having a really, really good time today, man. Really good time. What would you like to get into? You want to talk?
Why don't we start talking about the bowl matchups? Is that cool?
I'm with it, man. I'm totally with it. December 19th, I got it pulled up here. And you got the, what is this, Camellia Bowl?
I love some of the, I can't wait till we got the SBTV Bowl because I love the name of some of these bowls. It's like anybody with a business.
You got a business. You want to write a check.
No, we're going to run you a bowl.
I wonder
if the Dream Bowl. I can't wait for the Dream Bowl.
I wonder if there's a waiting line for that.
Listen, I know if there is a waiting line, I know how you can get to the front of it.
How's that?
Just walk up, just like you get to the front of the line at the club.
Right.
Walk up with something in your hand.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, looking at it, I mean, there is definitely a bunch of bowls, and I believe that there's some 5-win teams in the bowls this year, Drew.
Yes, there are. First of all, like you were saying, on the 19th, it kicks off, guys. In case you're not aware, which I'm sure you are, which one did you want to start with there?
Oh, I mean, but those are all junkie bowls, though.
Well,
I mean, I got the whole list.
So our guys won't have nothing to do with none of those games.
You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on December 19th.
They should be all over them games. Talk about your dream. Did you get some in New Mexico?
Well, you know that our co-host, the Evil Genius, once we do the contest,
no doubt.
I think he bet every single one last year.
He did. I'm waiting for him to get North Carolina A&T on the adjusted line.
Let's see. You got Ohio versus Appalachian State in the Camellia Bowl. You got the Cure Bowl, which is San Jose State. Cure Bowl.
That's a dope name. Why don't we just do the relative one? On that day for me, the relative would be BYU versus Utah. And the thing with these bowls, guys, that you got to be careful with, it's not the kids' effort, because the kids' effort is going to be there. I always say that. People are like, they're not going to want to play in that. But listen, the kids are trying to get into pro football, and they love football, and they love to play. They're going to be ready. The people who are not ready is the coaching staff. The coaching staff, if they have dialed it in and they're all trying to jockey for position to go coach somewhere else or do something else, they're the guys that will have missed spots and not got the kids polished up on this or not done their job as coaching. The other thing you got to remind yourself of, especially if you're going to play the futures, which, be careful here, is a lot of these kids catch some suspension or can't being able to play in their bowl because of academics.
Right. Absolutely. That was big last year.
It was big every year.
Yeah, definitely. So I wouldn't recommend putting anything in Las Vegas right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely be careful when you're looking at those situations because, kids, it's time to go to school for real. And son was supposed to be with the tutor all off season and wasn't.
Yes.
And now my man, 2 + 2, he's struggling. It's like at McDonald's when they put your number in, right, and the thing opens up and you find the change, but she already rung it in, and you're like, I got the 10 cents. And she's looking at you like, huh? What? So what do you want to do?
That's funny. So, BYU and Utah, man. Pretty interesting game there. Utah definitely fell short this year. They had really high aspirations, especially after beating Michigan week 1. They were all singing the praises of the top 4 and the Pac championship and the whole package, and they ended up losing 3 heartbreakers, man. So
yeah, they did. But I like Utah in this spot. I like Utah to beat BYU right out of the gate. But like I said, we got to be cognizant of what's going on. So as we get a little bit closer to that landscape, we'll get involved with that. Another bowl game of note, not particularly on that day. Toledo versus Temple looks pretty exciting.
Toledo versus Temple.
That's on December 22nd.
You're going to see that defensive Temple, who actually got smoke showed by the Houston Cougars. versus that offense of Toledo. So should be a pretty good game.
You that Houston was going to win that game.
You did. I got to give it to you, and I got to give it to you for last night for the Maryland Terps.
Oh no! I forgot about the Sun. I've been winning so much. I forgot when I get out.
Maryland Terrapins get the job done in MSG, and they were going ham in that game, by the way. And then,
no doubt.
They let UConn come back. They let
them slide back in there. That UConn team, no, they are going to be, I guarantee you, by tournament time, they're going to be pretty good.
You think so?
It's just they're not polished right now. You know what I mean? There's certain things that they got to work on. They struggle with certain things. So they got to get it together, which I think you'll see a lot of growth throughout the season. And Maryland, I think I like Maryland right about at the 6th spot. I think that's apropos for them.
You think so?
Yeah, at 6th ranked, because they're not that. They're not that bad. They're just not the number 1 team as far as I'm concerned.
I got you.
But Maryland is built. They're built. If you look at classic NCAA team winners, Maryland is built to win that tournament.
Oh, because of the shooting.
Yeah, the guard play and the point guard play. Yes, definitely.
All right, Vegas.
The tournament's usually run by guards, dude. You look at the teams over the years: Kimball Walker, Mateen Cleaves, other Khalid Al-Amin. I mean, you could go all over the place. The Duke guys, it's built for your adult point guard. Usually is what it's all about. So keep that in mind.
We saw that last year with a team of size with Kentucky that ended up losing at the end. Man,
tell me about it.
Losing at the end. So yeah, looking at this as far as some other games of note, Cincinnati versus San Diego State. That should be a pretty good game. I think that is the Hawaii Bowl in Honolulu, Hawaii. What better way to spend your Christmas Eve in Hawaii, huh? As being a college kid, Dream?
I don't know.
Why not?
Well, one thing is you're away from home.
Yeah, and it's pretty long flight.
Pretty long flight. The second thing is, unless you're usually, I know, I'm thinking most of the cats from Cincinnati are probably used to it being cold, so that's going to be a big change of pace for them. The San Diego State kids will be right at home, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
But like certain stuff I still hold dear to heart. You know what I mean? Christmas is one of them, and that's. When I talk about moving, which I want to move somewhere warm,
yep.
I do always think about how bizarre it's going to be for me at Christmas with it being warm, and, we got like a little tradition at my house. It's kind of a big deal. We, put out our stuff and, we expect it to be cold and that's part of the fun of it. So I don't know how, these particular kids in the household, they grow up. So I would hope that I'm making the atmosphere for my kids at Christmas time, if they weren't here and cold or whatever, that they would be kind of a little bit homesick.
Well, we're kind of experiencing that now, considering it's going to be 60 degrees this week, Dream.
Yeah, no doubt. We are experiencing that now, which is kind of cool. But still, it's just a different, it's like we get this once in every, like this means next year is going to be a wrap.
Oh, next year we're going to have like 3 feet of snow, man. Get pounded.
Definitely.
Get pounded, man. I'll be doing
And I love it because around here, all of our people, all the people with the snow blowers and the snow cleanup guys that want to make a living off of the natural disaster.
Oh, yeah.
They all irate right now because it's like they made no money. So they're all acting like they bought a package.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Cabaret won a game.
Yeah, it's yeah. It's like I know my father-in-law actually does it. He snowplows.
Okay.
And he they have, you can either get paid by storm or you
Right.
get paid by contract. You get one lump sum.
Right.
And no matter what, you always seem to be on the bad side of that sometimes, because if you get paid by contract, that's the year that you get pounded and you have a foot of snow, then a foot of snow, then 2 feet of snow, and then you got to go back 3 or 4 times because the plows from the street, clog up your driveways and all that, man. So it's kind of crazy. So
my neighbor, I seen him out there getting his plow ready the end of October. My man was trying to get the plow in the truck because he gets a little bit down with some of that. And I know dude been just eat it. He ain't seen him drop a slide. I see him out there looking up in the sky every now and then. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Waiting for one, man. Waiting for one. All right, so getting back to the bowl matchups here, looking at it, just trying to see. How about UConn versus Marshall? Offense versus defense?
Interesting matchup on December 26th. That would be the St. Petersburg Bowl.
Yes.
And I don't know. That's an interesting matchup. I'm definitely leaning Marshall, as I don't really like Connecticut. I hate the way they play, but Connecticut does put you like in a trance when you play them, apparently, as they did it to Houston.
It's all about defense sometimes, man. And you know what? UConn has a really, really good defense. And
I still don't understand how Houston – I mean, I know that Greg Ward Jr. didn't play the majority of that game. Yeah. I still don't understand how Houston lost to Connecticut.
Sucked. Because they would have capped off an undefeated season because they were so dope, man. Going after that game. I mean, they beat up on Navy and then beat up on Temple. And those were probably the two roughest teams on their schedule, which sucks. Absolutely sucks for them. But, hey, it is what it is. And, they got only themselves to blame for that, man. I mean, like you said, Greg Ward Jr. was injured in that particular game. But even still, they had, like, nothing going on.
Right.
Nothing going on in that particular game. What other game interests you on this bowl slate? Because there is a lot of them, dude.
Yeah, there are. Well, you got North Carolina Baylor, which I find very, very interesting. That's on December 29th. I'm looking at that particular matchup. I'm also looking at, I'll be interested in, what another game that's got a really funny dynamic to it? LSU, Texas Tech.
LSU versus Texas Tech. Again, you got offense versus defense.
That's a game that I wonder what LSU is going to bring to the table, because LSU should really be able to beat Texas Tech. But now this is a situation that if LSU isn't coached up right defensively, they'll get slaughtered in this game if they don't get coached up right. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a game that their defense is going to have to be coached and coached well for it, that they need to be prepared for. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic of that particular game as well. Because if they're not, Texas Tech will take them by storm with the way they play, and LSU will be like, whoa.
I think that Les Miles, now that he's like kind of recharged,
he's going to have it.
Yeah, after all that controversy, I mean, that's probably what he needed. Was like a little kick in the behind saying that, hey, you know what, you could possibly be out of here. And sure enough, they went out and won their last game. I think LSU goes bananas for Les Miles.
Okay.
I really do. I think that, you got an SEC team here versus Texas Tech. I mean, I think this game spells disaster for Texas Tech, believe it or not. But they will put up some points. I mean, they are one of the top offenses in all of college football. So definitely something to take a look at as far as that game is concerned. I am looking at, let me see, just guys, we're just bouncing around some of the college bowls here. There is a plethora of them. And it's actually kind of crazy what is going on here. Mississippi State at NC State. That might be a pretty good one. That is December 30th. That's the Belk Bowl. Whatever that means. I don't know what Belk is. Belk a business or an organization, whatever that is. That's in Charlotte, North Carolina. You're going to see Dak Prescott at the helm versus NC State's defense. And NC State's defense, Dream, got destroyed by North Carolina in that last game.
I know.
So, I don't know. So, they're going to be looking at that game to try to find some holes in that defense and make it work. And I think Dak Prescott will have a very good game as far as that one's concerned. Let's see what else. Here's one. The Fiesta Bowl, January 1st. You got Notre Dame versus the Ohio State University, Dream.
I know. And I like Ohio State.
You have
in
to.
This particular match.
I was gonna come drive to your crib.
Yes.
Beat you down if you said Notre Dame, brother.
No.
There is no way that Urban
Meyer... We're talking Dizzle.
Here's the deal. I love it, man.
Yeah, no. I like Ohio State in this matchup, but I can already hear, it's a letdown spot for Notre Dame. They're not going to be wanting, the kids aren't going to want to play. They're not playing for a national title. Blah, 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 blah.
You mean for Ohio State?
Right. I'm sorry, Ohio State. Yeah, right. That's what I could already hear rumbling around. It didn't even start yet, but I know it's coming.
Well, you've got some potential NFL players on that roster.
Okay.
And they are definitely going to need to show their styles and show what they're made of in this particular game, because this game is going to be – you're going to have a lot of eyes on this game, Dream.
No doubt.
This is when the big ones start, man. January 1st is when it all becomes – it's like New Year's 6, they call it, Dream.
Yep.
So looking at it –
dude, I go back to when they used to play all the games on New Year's Day, which was, to me, the dopest.
Yeah.
That was the best. There used to be, do you remember that? There used to be games on at like 9 a.m. There was like 4 games like every 2 hours till like midnight.
Right.
That was so dope back then. And it was that was for me at the time, and this happened to happen when my son was born. But I had planned on going to Vegas on that, like New Year's Eve was going to be Friday, and then that Saturday was New Year's Day, and then Sunday was NFL. So the game plan was to fly out to Vegas on Thursday, party the New Year's Eve party, then do college football on Sunday, and then the year that it happened was 2011, and my son was born. My wife and I had planned a year ahead to go to do it, and it all got shut down by little man. So one more story I'm going to let him know when I punch him in the stomach when he's like 16, 17, acting, talking slick to his dad. I'll be like, yo, you know how much money you cost me?
Oh, speaking of that, man, my kid is 14 years old, and he is, got balls of steel now.
Feeling himself.
Oh, my God. No, he's not afraid of nothing, man.
Feeling himself.
Nothing at all. Like, I'll get right in his face. You get right in my face. I'm like,
that's because you
better
got that.
Sit down, bro.
You are that passive. I always tell you about that. Hat is one of the most passive, calm, like he don't got a mean streak in him for the most part. Well, I've rarely met a male like you, and I give you a lot of credit for it too, because it's an testament to your fortitude and how to keep your emotions in check.
Yep.
I do know when you get angry. I have seen you angry before, but like for the most part, you're very cool, calm, and collective in most situations. Where I think sometimes your kindness can be taken as a weekness. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I mean,
whereas like me, son, you got like about 10 minutes to get in my zone, and it's a wrap.
Oh, I know. Going back to the college bowls, man. So how about this one, Dream? You know what? I actually have to go backwards for a minute.
Go ahead.
The Houston Cougars versus Florida State.
Good game.
Great game, huh?
Great game. That's the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, and that starts us off on New Year's Eve. And I really wish these games, the playoff games, weren't on New Year's Eve, because I'm going out New Year's Eve. I'm not letting football's not dictating. You know how I feel about my party life and my home life. I'm not letting football dictate to me what I'm doing. But I will be involved in this. I mean, I'm going to be involved in all of them, but this game will be good because it's a noon start, so that won't really interfere with the evening. But that's going to be a very good game.
That game's going to rock.
Yep.
Any lean on that initially?
Yes, Houston.
You think the Houston Cougars, huh? From the American Conference.
Yes. The thing with Houston, though, definitely keep a look at both of these teams. See who gets suspended.
Yes.
With both of these teams. Definitely keep an eye out. I wouldn't put this in nowhere before December 30th, because there could be some interesting, developments. But what would be great with Houston, though, is Greg Ward Jr. will be really healthy by this game.
Oh, absolutely.
And want to really shine. You know what I'm saying? Really do his thing. So this will be a great opportunity for him to really be on a national stage and show what he's got and what he's all about. So my early lean is definitely Houston.
All right, and we got to look at it, and my recommendation is you don't put any plays in until about an hour before the games, because you just don't know, because some of these decisions are made on some of these players like that day. So you got to remember that in the back of your brains, man. And that's in any college sport, to be honest with you, at any time. Looking at this, how about this? You want to see a baseball score? How about Florida versus Michigan?
Yeah, I know.
6-3 final. Michigan emerges 6-3. Unbelievable. That is defense for days. I bet you the total on that one is probably somewhere along the lines of 32 points.
Right.
Let me take a look at it real quick. But, guys, right now we are live on Twitter, and we are talking about the college bowl season, man. Just wanted to talk a little bit about some marquee matchups that are coming up. I think it's a great subject, Dream, and I'm glad that you brought this up, dude, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, listen. The bowl season is always a good time. It's always fun. I think that it behooves everybody to get a look and get a game plan early to start blueprinting it out, because once it's upon you, then you could maybe start frivolously throwing, or I didn't know they played today, or I didn't know that game was at 1 o'clock. Like on the 31st, everybody knows that Oklahoma and Clemson are playing, and everybody knows Michigan State and Alabama were playing, but people probably weren't aware that Houston and Florida State are playing as well at 12 o'clock. So if you're not with that game plan and you plot out a couple of spots, early, you can miss some bull. Because I remember one time I was planning on putting something on somebody. It came home and turned the TV on, and they were in the third quarter.
Oh, wow. That sucks. So as far as New Year's 6, there is Stanford versus Iowa.
Good game.
Great game.
Good game. I'm torn in that particular matchup.
I am too.
You know, both of those are my squads.
Those are your squads right there, bro.
Yeah, I'm torn in that matchup. I don't know what we're gonna do there, but I believe that's probably a field goal game. That's one you could tease either way, and you'll probably be okay. Either one of these teams, you get them with some points, and you're gonna be okay. I see a very close, very good game. That's a great Rose Bowl matchup.
Definitely. Oh, that's the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. And Oregon versus TCU. Offense, baby. Why didn't they flip-flop it? Why didn't they have like TCU versus Michigan and Oregon versus Florida? You know what I mean? You got offense versus offense and defense versus defense.
Yeah, Oregon versus TCU. I just think it's probably more of an attractive game as far as they're concerned. That's an interesting one. I guess we get the over right now.
Yeah, right. What is it? Probably like 75, something like that.
Right.
Guys, a lot of these lines are released out, wherever you're looking at them. So, take a look and, start making up your mind on which ones you want to get involved. Like you said, Dream, establishing your blueprint now. So this way, and guys, don't go crazy on like the first couple of games and be like sitting there scratching your head. You're sitting there and you lost, most of your bankroll on the Potato Bowl. Don't do that. Because you don't really know a lot about these teams, man. So, looking at this, let me just see what else I've got. Oh, that's pretty much it as far as stuff that's getting me excited, Dream.
Right.
I really like that Michigan versus Florida matchup as far as not
the
a lot
under?
of scoring. Yeah, not a lot of scoring.
As far as the
under? Definitely not. And, that's a couple of unders you could probably put together is Michigan versus Florida and Alabama versus Michigan State. Those are probably two unders that would probably cash, in my humble opinion. So let's move over, man. You got any others before we move on, Dream?
The only other one of note is you got Ole Miss playing Oklahoma State, and that's the Sugar Bowl. Okay. That's also on January 1st. That's on New Year's Day. I do like Ole Miss to beat Oklahoma State in that particular matchup. It's a slight light lean. Obviously now it's very, very early, but keep a look at that. And then my favorite, the Tax Slayer Bowl, because I just like saying Tax Slayer.
That is a pretty cool name.
You shouldn't have to pay no taxes that day or something like if you go to that bowl, like you should be tax free for the season if your team wins.
Yes. All right, so I jumped over to the NBA. And I see you want to talk about two of your squads playing each other?
Yep.
You got the Miami Heat coming into the Charlotte Hornets. How about that?
And the Heat are ornery.
The Heat got to be pissed off right now.
Yeah,
man.
the Heat are probably agitated and they're looking for a win. They're looking to bounce back. But I'm gonna wait a minute still. We've been pretty busy. Busy all weekend. Busy yesterday. Busy on Monday. So I need it because you guys know my games are stomach aches. So I can't keep. That's why I take so many days off because otherwise I have an ulcer.
Yeah, right. People are doctors out there writing scripts for anxiety and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
no doubt. And then the Heat are on the road, and this particular matchup, I'm gonna just leave alone. Obviously the Heat need to go out and get back into their winning ways, but I'm gonna fall back on that particular spot. With that particular game.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and Al Jefferson is still out. Obviously, he's sidelined for 2 to 3 weeks with the calf injury, man. And when you look at the Miami Heat, let's just see what they got going on. I don't see any particular injuries, but guys, wait and make sure that people are all playing. We say that every single day we do the show.
Right.
Any other matchups that you feeling?
Looking right now, let's see what we got here. We've got...
How about the Chicago Bulls coming off that embarrassing loss to the Suns? They're going into Boston.
Not with the Celtics.
Tricky spot, right?
Yeah, Celtics, they play too tough, brother.
In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, the Phoenix Suns were down 16 points going into the fourth quarter yesterday. Or not yesterday, 2 days ago, at Chicago. And the Bulls lost the game in the fourth quarter, being outscored by 18 in their building. And now they got to travel into Boston.
The only thing that I very slightly like, and it's a small lean, and I'm probably not getting involved, so I don't even really want to hardly plug it, but I will just give it a mention. I do like the Utah Jazz tonight at home versus the Knicks.
Yeah, Knicks haven't been playing that well.
and they don't play that well on the road. But I told you, I don't like this Knicks team as much as everybody else does. I will acknowledge Porzingis, and I do like what he's doing, and I do like what he's shown. I wish they would calm down a little bit about him, but I do like that. But outside of that, though, I don't really like much of what else the Knicks do. So I would just fall back a little bit here in this particular situation with the Knicks. I do like the Jazz. The line is only out of Vegas is only 3.5, which is 3.5. I might would just, obviously take that half a point off of that. Anything 3 points and under, I'll go ahead and give the 3 and let it fly.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Knicks, and their last 8 games are 2-6, Dream, and the only 2 wins, 76ers, Brooklyn Nets.
Right.
The rest of the games they have lost. They went on a 4-game losing streak, and now they're on a 2-game losing streak. And not a great place to come into versus the Utah Jazz with that defense. Going to be a pretty ugly game there, man, for them. So we'll see what ends up going down with your boy Porzingis. Dirk Nowitzki was actually saying that Porzingis was better than he was at that age. He said
Say that again?
Dirk Nowitzki said that Porzingis is a better.
Got you. Okay, all right, yeah, okay. I thought you said Porzingis said he was better than.
No,
I'm like,
no.
whoa. I meant to mention that the battle of the white boys playing hoop when they played each other. I saw that. I saw that, and they gave a little bit of dap and stuff before the game. And hey, listen, this Porzingis kid, I will give it to you. He's special. I've seen a little bit out of him. Unfortunately, he plays for the Knicks.
Yeah, right.
Which is not a big ups to him, but hey, it looks like it's going to be probably it's an excellent pickup. Bill Jackson's showing a little bit of why he's worth the money they've been paying in there, because that's about all he's done since he's been there. So hey, I'll give them that amount of credit.
Rookie of the year?
I don't know yet. We'll see.
Maybe.
Yep.
Not going to give it to Okafor.
Right.
After all his nonsense. So, you got Karl Anthony Towns. You got a bunch of pretty big athletes that are vying for that this year. And I think Porzingis has gotten the most buzz.
Right.
Out of all of them. So, all right, man. You got NHLs you want to have a conversation about?
Let's get into the NHL right now.
Dude, I love the fact that the Capitals and the Stars have not lost back-to-back games all year.
Yeah, but don't go crazy with that.
No, you know what? Because as soon as I say that, you know what's going to happen?
Exactly.
They're going to go on a 3-game losing streak.
Just like so-and-so's dope.
You guys are all going to be chasing. But, hey, if you chased last night, you made it work, man. So big ups to you for that.
We got the Canadiens. The Habs are playing the Bruins tonight in Montreal, which looks a little bit slightly attractive. We have the Penguins playing the Avalanche in Colorado, which also looks slightly attractive. Wow, and we've got the Rangers playing the Canucks, which looks slightly attractive.
There you go, man.
I'm falling back. I'm taking a night off. I really don't want to get involved tonight. And these teams are on the road. I don't feel like I don't like messing with road teams. So I'm falling back. But I got to be honest with you. The Canadiens looks like a really good spot.
New York Rangers, baby.
And the New York Rangers look like a pretty good spot. Yeah, I probably would go Canadiens, Rangers. I'd leave that Penguins game alone, even though the Avalanche stink, but I'd leave that Rangers game alone.
How do teams react when they are in first place and then a team jumps them?
Right.
Washington Capitals have jumped the New York Rangers now.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a back and forth for most of the season, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't think that there's going to be an overreaction or underreaction by any. I don't think they'll. I know that they keep an eye on it, but especially this early in the season, I don't think that's too much of a big deal right now.
Absolutely not. But I like the. You know what? I've been following this Rangers team, and I'm kind of feeling the way they've been doing it, but not as of late, man. They have not been winning a lot of games.
Yeah, well, there's been some, like we've talked about, some of their whatever's been going on with their inner workings, which we haven't been able to put a finger on why they haven't been as successful as they started. But it's a long season, dude. You know what I'm saying?
It is a long season, that is for sure, man. So moving over to let's see. So are you done with hockey?
I'm done with hockey.
Yeah, the only thing I'm leaning right now is the New York Rangers, but we'll have a conversation about it later on as it materializes. I'm looking at tonight as far as the NCAA hardwood is concerned. Got the Yale Bulldogs going into Champaign facing the Fighting Illini tonight. And the Illinois Fighting Illini is -3.5 with an under-over of 140.5. Probably going to stay away from Yale. I'm going to wait till they come home, Dream.
Okay, I'm not mad at you about that.
Don't be mad at me about that. You got the Kentucky Wildcats looking to bounce back and avenge their last loss versus Eastern Kentucky, and Kentucky is minus 24 points, brother. Think Killer Cow goes ham or what?
Don't know, but I'm not getting involved in 24 points.
You don't want to get involved in 24 points?
No.
I kind of like the situation.
Situation is dope, but the 24 points is dusty.
Anybody suspended? Anything that you know of, man?
I don't know. I'm not getting. Listen. I'm built for a night off tonight. I will take a look and watch a little bit if need be, but probably try to hang out with the gang, and do our little thing here. But I am not going to get involved in college basketball because I'm still watching. I did get a look, obviously, again at Maryland again and UConn again yesterday. I took a look at them. Who else did I see yesterday play that I was kind of impressed with? I'm trying to remember. There were a couple other games.
West Virginia was on.
That game, right? That I actually, because we're local, I saw the Syracuse game again, which I got to see their 2-3 zone, which I've been seeing like forever. So
they love that.
They do love that.
They love that.
What kills me is that so many teams still don't really know how to play that. You know what I mean? And I am now like an expert at it because I've been watching it so long. I feel like calling in and trying to coach the guys. Okay, I need the point guard to attack the zone right at the top of the key, right in the middle. Yes. When the key collapses, kick the ball out to the. I could coach the team into doing it. I've seen it so much.
No doubt.
But for some reason, UConn goes in there and can't figure it out.
Right. Right. Michigan.
What are you going to do? Okay, so the Virginia. I didn't see it. Did you get any look at that West Virginia game?
No,
Who won it?
Oh, that's a really good question.
I'm looking it up right now. I don't even see it here.
West Virginia versus Virginia last night, brother.
I'm looking at it right now. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. While you're pulling that up, I'm looking at the Michigan State Spartans, who are on a quest, man. This team here seems like they want to be the team to beat this year, Dream.
Okay.
9-0, 8-0 at home, giving 32.5 points to Maryland Eastern Shore Hawks.
Virginia beat the brakes off of West Virginia, son.
Really?
70-54.
16-point win.
Yeah, I didn't get not look
bad.
at this game. And we had Miami, which you had mentioned yesterday. Miami beat Florida 66-55. Okay. Guys, we are going to move into college basketball. We're going to get there. We're just not quite there with you yet.
No, not yet.
Okay,
not yet. Shortly,
it's not.
Shortly.
It's look. I take things one step at a time. All right, one step at a time. So there's always going to be something to wager on.
Dude, no doubt, man. There's
you know what I mean? So, and I hear you guys. Well, oh yeah, the lines are wrong now. No, they're not. They're not. The lines are dead right now.
They're not.
The lines is never wrong.
The only lines that are wrong.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to stress you this. I don't want to say that they're wrong. They just
skewed.
They don't account for the computers can't account for this, guys, and this is very, very important. I think I've said this on the show before. When you are involved, the way live wagering works, and a lot of the casinos right now, Dream, in Vegas. Remember we had John Avello on the show, and we were talking to him about how they're all going to mobile. So when you're in the state of the state of Nevada, you could actually start, wagering live on the games.
Right.
So in live wagering, the way the live lines work, guys, I've done a lot of reading and a lot of studying on this because you know that I love them. So the way it works is it's a computer that simulates hundreds of thousands of games in that particular situation. So if you have, let's say, Duke playing Kentucky, and Kentucky was a 3-point favorite in that particular game, and the score is, 56-54 at a certain point in the second half. What they do is they have all these situations already done on computers, so that's what spits out the live lines. Now, what they can't account for is humans going down. So if you have a star player like, in the NFL, let's say Aaron Rodgers goes down in the second quarter, live lines don't adjust for that. They can't. They can't do it. So 9 times out of 10, you can catch it. If you see that the injury is bad, you can catch it. But 9 times out of 10, the book will just pull it off. You know what I mean? But you have about 5 minutes there to get involved in that. So it's something to take a look at, if you're getting involved in live wagering, guys. So injuries are not accounted for as far as live wagering, period. And that's pretty much it. And that's my little tidbit for the day, Dream.
No doubt.
All right.
That's tidbit for the day.
That's my tidbit for the day, man. So looking at it here, guys, I mean, I don't really see much that I'm really leaning today, Dream.
Yep.
So I think I'll get back and forth with the nation later on, and we could have a conversation about it. I do like the Bulls to bounce back, but that's an ugly game in Boston. This Boston team, I mean, they do have a winning record. They are 12-9, so I think I'm going to just kind of fall back and watch, and I think I'll get back with the nation later on, and we will have a conversation about who we're feeling, man.
Yeah, man. Easy evening.
It is Wednesday, and we do have Thursday night football tomorrow night, man.
No doubt, man. Plus, we've been tearing it up, so y'all can give this up a little break.
I didn't so much tear it up. The hockey was good for me. Obviously, the money line situation. Shut up. Money line situation was good. Money line situation was good with my boy, but
you used to not tearing it up, player. Yeah, so you're good.
Well, wait till SBTV 500, Playboy. Then we'll have that conversation.
You used to, you know what I mean? Let me stop. I love getting on my boy. But, yeah, that's about it, guys. Nothing out of me tonight. I'm sure you guys will hit me up a little bit, but I'm not budging. I'm watching. So, back up a little bit. I'll be in touch with you all tomorrow. Yes. And, guys, I want to thank everybody that's out there retweeting the show because we do that. It's a little tradition around here that we start. It's our way of saying thank you to the guys that are out there that got up this morning and took the time to turn us on and stay with us and retweet us and help us try to get our little brand out there on Twitter. Yeah, so it's just a little way to say thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
That's all we're doing. You know what I mean? And it don't matter that it's the same day guys all the time, and we just enjoy doing that and giving a big shout out to them and kind of getting our personal touch on it. So, that being said, Jim Roman's a douche. I hit you up last night about the Flyers, and I was just clowning a little bit, so I hope you didn't take that personally. But the Flyers were pesty and actually were physical last night against the Rangers. I mean, Islanders, but ended up losing the game.
The Isles find ways to win.
They do find ways to win. And Cloudman Swag is in the house, and Cloudman's been covering up that Patriot jersey right now. Got a little hoodie over it, so keep an eye on you, player. C.B. Rodriguez Jr. is out there. Strawman86 is out there. Welcome to the party, as that is a new retweeter on the list. Key MVU's out there. MG86 Spot Bet JDH24 JC, the SBTV Nation. Joseph Del Rosario, my boy, is out there. Santi Cathorla, which is a new name on the list as well. Long Wu is out there. Jeff Ryan's out there. Vegas Girl 92661. The Dream Me. I've retweeted, of course. Vegas Jack is out there. Stoopy Bet, Ciroc, King J, Irvin, Benjamin Rowe, SD Grind, what's happening? Lone Star, Ombre, Razor Ramon, Direct Sports Solutions. Good morning to you out there in Texas. AB Lint, Jason Riley, Christos, Yippa82, Nick Arrested, Sir Mata, OJFB, what's going on, player? Jordy Best, BT, Mario Martinez, Cash Action, Bet, MC Money, and so many more. But send this big shout out and some love to my boy, Papa Smurf. As always, keeping an eye on the Maryland Terrapins, as he told me they stink yesterday.
Yes.
I see you, Papa. I see you. Also, Average Joe Punter out in sunny Australia gets down to it. They usually join us a little bit later during the week. They're out there doing their thing and so many more. Guys, as always, I am the Dream. Always remember who you with and make the most of each and every day, as you cannot get this time back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys, we are the biggest show in the world. The hashtag SBTV Nation and SBTVNation.com. So right now we communicate with you on Twitter. However, we are working to get our videos on YouTube, and it looks like we're going to be live in one of the only sports shows live on YouTube when we get this thing popping. And we'll be able to see your comments on the channel as well there. We love you to death. Go out there, go easy, do your own homework, get involved in all your own plays, make all your dreams a damn reality, and get that money. Let's go.
Peace.